What's going on, guys? HDHJD here, and as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about Deidara from the Akatsuki. Now, he is dead center and at number 10 for my ranking here. Now, obviously, you shouldn't take my rankings as fact. You fucking should. Because I obviously have done my own research, and I am not going to mislead you. Now, let's talk about how strong Deidara is, shall we? Deidara is, again, ranked 10th in the Akatsuki. Again, I am including Taka in this. So if you include Taka and all members that have ever been in the Akatsuki, he is number 10. Now, how strong is he? Well, his clay people gave Heavy Sasuke a tiny bit of trouble, but not much. Heavy Sasuke did manage to cut through several of them, but it still gave him a minor inconvenience, which gives the impression that these clay people can take out, I'd say, Genin, Chunin, and maybe low-level Jonin. He was also able to take out the Three Tails all by himself, and that's no small feat considering all tailed beasts are very powerful. And if you believe the whole tails equals power, we all saw how destructive Shukaku can be. And we all saw how strong, what's her name? Yagura, right? The Two Tails. We all saw how strong the Two Tails was, because it took both Hidan and Kakuzu to take him out. Sorry, her out, technically. Now, the reason I am putting the Tails feat as pretty much his second best feat is because it's not too explored. We don't see the Three Tails use any of his abilities, at least not all of them. We don't see him really fight Deidara for all too long, but I'd say his best strength feat was definitely being equal to KCM2 Heavy Sasuke again in their fight in the forest. We all remember the fight. It's probably one of, if not the best fight in Shippuden. Not the best, but it's definitely one of the most iconic fights in Shippuden. Now, as for speed, his physical speed, like he himself hasn't really been shown to be a speedster. Nor do I think Kishimoto wanted that to be portrayed. He was more of a let's light a bomb and see how big it explodes. He was basically a area of effect guy. If you are in some kind of RPG turn-based game, he'd be the guy that has the AoE effect, the area of effect. Anyway, getting off track. He can use his clay birds to fly. Now, how fast? Well, he can outrun some of Gaara's attacks, which is the chakra sand that he uses, and those are pretty fast. They are no slouch. He obviously does get caught a couple times, including the time where he literally has an arm torn off. But disregarding that, he has been shown to outrun some of Gaara's attacks. Now, as for intelligence, he managed to outsmart Gaara by using his love for his village against him by dropping a bomb on them. Very drastic means of a tactical option, but hey, we're not here to judge Deidara on how he wins his fights. At the end of the day, he did win. That also speaks to his battle intelligence, being tactful and using his environment to his advantage, even being able to beat the Hokage in his own village. I think that should speak to how good this guy was. As for experience, he spent 6 to 7 years as a shinobi. He, again, is the youngest of the Akatsuki, being 19 years old. As for hacks, he has C4 and C0. What is C4 and C0? Well, C4 is a technique that Deidara created to counter the Sharingan and the Genjutsu it produces. Besides him claiming he is immune to Genjutsu, Sasuke said, fuck you, that real quick, to that whole myth. Deidara uses his own mouth instead of his ones on his hands to create a giant doll that looks exactly like him. However, when this doll pops, when it releases a cloud of unseen microscopic bombs that enter the bloodstream of anyone who inhales them, and you can imagine what happens there. On Deidara's command, the microbomb's detonation causes the victim's body to disintegrate at a cellular level, literally turning them into dust. Now, this isn't like some kind of, particle style, but it might as well be, right? You can literally detonate your opponent from the inside out if they are not durable enough to take the explosion. We saw this with Sasuke, or at least thought to be Sasuke, when this thing was used on him. Now, C0 is called his ultimate art, as he puts it. It is his highest form of explosive clay. So what C0 does is basically a suicide technique. This is him pulling out all the stops to kill whoever he is facing. C0 is a suicide bomb technique used as a last resort only. Deidara reveals his mouth and his chest, which is located where the heart would be, not at his heart, but like on the skin, where you put your where you put your hand for the Pledge of Allegiance. That's where the heart would be. So that's where this thing would be. Anyway, this thing is always stitched up until he does this technique. When he feeds a large ball of clay to this mouth, it has a direct connection to his heart, so a large amount of chakra is built up to it. This is how Sasuke managed to avoid this explosion, because he saw a large amount of chakra being gathered up in one place in Deidara's body. So Sasuke said, "Fuck that, I'm out of here." It then takes that chakra and it basically explodes from the inside out from a 10-kilometer blast radius. This thing creates. It's basically Series C0 on goddamn steroids. Sorry, it's basically C4 on goddamn steroids. Sasuke was not surviving this attack if he did not reverse summon himself. He would have died right there. That's how strong this one technique is. Granted, it's a suicide move, so Deidara is obviously dead due to this. Now, that's his hacks, right? His stamina, it's not that bad. Again, he managed to go blow for blow with Curse Mark to Heavy Sasuke for hours on end. His durability, he was able to take his own explosions and took a beating from KN Zero Naruto after being slammed into the ground so hard he made a human-sized crater. Now, if you do manage to get past his durability, how much endurance does he have? How much pain can he take? Well, he still fought with an arm ripped off against Gaara and got giant shurikens in both of his arms. So again, very painful. Poor his arms, dude. His arms go through so much goddamn abuse in the show. Now, who can he react to? He can react to Shippuden Kazekage Gaara's sand. Can avoid an attack from behind from base Naruto. Can react to the Three Tails and CM to Heavy Sasuke. Who is he able to keep up with? Again, Three Tails, CM to Heavy Sasuke. Most of his feats come from his Sasuke fight. As for his offense, he has a lot of, if not only, clay attacks. He can create clay people, he can create clay dragons and owls, tiny birds, mites, a clay clone, landmines, shadow clones that can explode, and as I mentioned, C0 and C4. Now he does have three other C attacks. He has C1, which is his most basic and versatile form of explosive clay. He creates from a single palm. These usually are small animated dolls or other things that resemble animals like birds and insects. Nothing too big, right? Now, after that is C2, which basically he uses when he uses like the dragon, right? Or his birds. But this does require both of his hands. The dragon itself is capable of flight, just like the bird is. And the dragon can spit out smaller clay figures that attack the opponent while guiding missiles. Like guided missiles. So the dragon's pretty fucking cool, right? Then you got C3. Now this is the technique that he used against Gaara. This is his most powerful large-scale bomb that once activated becomes an enormous statue that Deidara drops on his target from above. Its explosive power was great enough to destroy an entire village, or at least potentially destroy an entire village. That's at least what Deidara thought it could do. And Deidara knows his shit about his clay. So if he says something can do something, it definitely can. Now, but obviously, it's his most destructive outside of C0. C0 is his by far his most destructive and most powerful technique, being a suicide move. That's why it's so powerful. It's reserved for last minute resorts. Now, what's his defense like? Well, again, besides his clan owl that keep him a distance from, in the sky, he has clay clones that can take hits for him, and he can hide like a mole in the ground. Don't know why, but hey, Kakashi does it too, so why not? And his shadow clones can explode, like I mentioned earlier. So again, that can either create a diversion that can straight up kill the opponent if it's strong enough. Now, what's his destructive power capable like? Well, he can blow up the entire sand village with C3, and his C4 creates a large mountain level explosion. So you can get Deidara like large mountain level at very best. Weaponry, I'd say, he doesn't really have any weapons, right? He doesn't really have any weapons. Even with his clay, you don't really see him make too many things. I'll maybe give him his eye scope as weaponry, but that's more equipment, but it's still the same thing. His releases are explosion, earth, and lightning. And his taijutsu, it's not that great, right? It's not too great. He mainly relies on long range and explosions to fight people. No, he is not he can't swap hands with Sasuke. He can just make sure Sasuke is away from him. That's what I meant by he can keep up with Curse Mark to Heavy Sasuke. He is not on his taijutsu level. Alright, I hope that did help you guys understand how powerful Deidara is. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. Like the video if you want to see more videos like this. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you guys for your patience. I am completely aware I have not posted in about 2 months. I will be fixing that, considering this will be the video format for a little bit until I get my camera back, because currently my camera is my microphone on my camera is currently damaged. And I do actually like my gaming mic. This is actually the mic I use for gaming. It's a Razer mini mic, and it sounds fucking phenomenal. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the brief period of razor sharp audio from here on out. So thank you guys for listening. I realize I kind of went on a ramble, but that's what I really am, man. I'm a yapper. I hope this helped with whatever you're doing, whether that be actually watching the video, having background noise, doing your homework, whatever, whatever I can do to fulfill that purpose. So yeah, thank you guys. See ya.